What's up, guys? George back again to do another LP update. This one is for August 14th or 15th, whatever this, we'll say the 15th. I got a ton of new stuff over the last 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks. I'll be doing another CD update soon as well. But been onto a 60s kick lately. Some garage stuff, some psychedelic stuff, 60s rock, soul. Not a lot of metal lately in this pile anyway. Haven't really ordered anything other than the new Iron Maiden. I'm trying to think what else I pre-ordered. I think the Maiden's the biggest one. Obviously we got new Buckcherry coming out soon. So, but like I said, this one's just rock, soul, blues. Some R&B from the 70s and 60s, but let's jump into it because I got a lot of stuff here, so it's probably going to be a little bit of a long video. First up is Earl Hooker. This is Don't Have to Worry on ABC Blues, Bluesway Records. This one is from 1969. A little bit of ring wear on this one, but the LP's mint. Really cool blues record. Pretty cool, man. I think Earl Hooker is the nephew of John Lee Hooker. I think. I don't think it's brother or son, but I think it was a nephew. I'm not 100% correct, 100% sure, but I forget what it says. But really cool record. Next up is, this is a second pressing of the John Mayall Blues Alone album. Still an early, early or late 60s pressing, but it is the second pressing. Pretty cool blues record. Again, another blues thing. This is kind of where my head's at right now, listening to a lot of this stuff. I've got some of his other stuff from later on. I didn't care for it too much, but I dug a lot of his blues stuff on here, from the late 60s and stuff. So definitely check that, man. If you're not familiar with John Mayall, definitely check out. Actually, here's the 3 records down here. Those 3 records are really, really good blues, blues album. Definitely check that out. I think if you're into the blues stuff, you'll dig that one. Next up is the first. I think this is the first solo album from Steve Marriott, called Marriott. I believe this is his first solo record when, since he left Humble Pie or broke up Humble Pie. This is a promo. I picked this up this week. I got I would say 80% of these at Shady Dog records over the last month or so. I listened to some of this. This is pretty cool. A little hard rock sounding. I think this is from 75. I don't even know when this is from. I don't see this one too often around here out in the wild, but 76. It's a cool one. Check that label out. That's the American side. That's the British side. But pretty cool. It's in good shape. Like I said, it's a promo. I cleaned it and put a new sleeve in it, so I have the original sleeve. But usually when I get used stuff nowadays, I'll clean them on the Record Doctor that I bought, and then give it a brand new inner sleeve. But definitely check that out. It's a pretty good record. I'll save that one till later. I got upgraded the first Taj Mahal record. This one's dead mint. The LP's dead fucking mint. Really good. If I remember correctly. Again, another one that I cleaned. Gave it a new inner sleeve. Yeah, this one's for the age, it's spotless, man. And it sounds fantastic. I listened to this at Shady Dog. Like I said, I've been helping out there for the summer. Hopefully it'll be long term after the summer. I'm definitely going to keep helping them out. I just don't, you know, hopefully there'll be more on that later. Next up is, I never heard this full length. I don't think I've ever heard any other song by this girl. It's Kim Wilde. She did Kids in America. That was her big hit. I never heard this record. This one I don't see that often here anyway. So I picked it up for cheap. I mean, this one was like virtually unplayed. Really, it's in the old EMI. This thing, again, it's like the Taj Mahal. It's like, for being 30 years old now, it's like dead mint, I like finding stuff like this that's cheap. It's not valuable by any means, but to me it is. It's just, when you get something that killer, quality wise, it's worth having. And it's what you think it would be. If you heard Kids in America, the whole album's kind of in that vein. So it's cool. It's a cool early 80s pop rock album. Cheers. This is straight vodka. I'm just kidding, it's water. I'm trying to get away from like sodas and all that shit now. It's just every time I have a soda now, it's so sweet. So I've been drinking water, and just water and beer is all I need. Next up is The Move, Split Ends, with the original version of Do Ya. Do Ya was later re-recorded by ELO, and it was a hit. This has Jeff Lynne in the band and Bev Bevan from ELO, along with Roy Wood. This version on here is not as, it's a little more, I don't know, hippie sounding than the ELO version, but it's pretty cool. I mean, this is a cool record overall. Jeff Lynne wrote, I said 80% of the album. Roy Wood wrote the other 40 or 20%. I guess it's 60-40. Well, it was cool to have, just to hear the early version of Do Ya. So that's a cool record. Next up is a Killer Blues Collection from Howlin' Wolf. I just love this cover. Check that out. This is just a self-titled Howlin' Wolf collection put together by Chess Records. This is a blues master series, which they do. Essentially, it's just a reissue of the Chester Burnett, aka Howlin' Wolf double LP that they put out, like a best of. It's the same exact track listing, just different artwork. Again, this was dead mint. It's like the gatefold's never been opened before. That's as far as it'll go. It looks like it was a cutout at one time. Again, I cleaned it. Still dusty, man. It's like never been played hardly. Look at that old chest label. How fucking cool is that? Great collection if you like Howlin' Wolf. Kind of hard to find, as any Howlin' Wolf really. Original chess stuff's kind of hard to find, but it's definitely worth checking out. Again, I hate buying the same stuff over and over again, but when you put together like this with that cover, how can you say no, right? Next up is two records from Lord Sutch, which essentially, this first album here, I believe it's the first, is essentially Led Zeppelin with Lord Sutch singing. It's got Jimmy Page, John Bonham, Jeff Beck as the backing band, along with Noel Redding, who played bass, obviously, for Hendrix, and Nicky Hopkins. I mean, this really sounds like a Zeppelin record. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just, Zeppelin record without Plant singing. Really cool early or late 60s, I should say, hard rock. I like this album a lot. I've always seen this, never pulled the trigger on it before because every time I've seen it, it's been kind of pricey, but really killer. There he is with Page. Pretty cool. And then the next album is called Hands of Jack the Ripper, and this basically has Noel Redding, Ritchie Blackmore, and Keith Moon as the backing band, along with Matthew Fisher, Victor Brox, Brian Keith, and Annette Brox. This says recorded live in London. A lot more covers on this record. He does like a Little Richard medley on here. Not as cool as the other one, but still pretty cool. Pretty good singer too. That was cool. These are on Coalition, I think. Yeah, Coalition Records. Back in the, I guess, early 70s. Late 60s. A lot of these old out, 72. 1970 and 1972. So they're cool. If you like Zeppelin, and you don't, if you're into Zeppelin and you don't know about this one, definitely try and find that. It's pretty cool. I think there's a CD we can get with both albums on one CD. Next up, another blues from Charles Musselwhite, blues harmonica player. This is a German pressing of his 1970 record called Memphis, Tennessee. I like blues harmonica players. This guy's probably the top harmonica player in my opinion. Really killer. Really great record too. Standard blues stuff, just killer harmonica and some vocals on it. Pretty good record. Here's an original Chess. It's called Hate to See You Go from Little Walter. This is killer. They were doing these series where they would do the black and white album covers, like Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. I mean, they go for a lot of money. This one's no exception. There's the original Chess label. I got this cheap because it wasn't in the best shape. Look-wise, you can actually see that basically it's like the inner sleeve that was in it was damaging the record. I don't know how, but because it's like swirls on it. But anyway, I cleaned it, popped it on, and you would never know by the sound of it that it looks like it does. Hardly any noise, any static noise on it. Any pops. I mean, there's a pop here and there, but can't put it out full price having it look like that. So I picked that up. Glad I did. It's really good. Next up is a collection of Paul Kossoff, just called Koss. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, if you know Free, he was a member of Free. He formed Backstreet Crawler. Really killer guitar player. Died of a heroin overdose on a flight. Flying somewhere. I don't know. He never made it to wherever he was going, but I think this is a promo. Yeah, promo. And this one had pretty cool promo 8x10 in it, along with a biography. So that was pretty cool. And it's got Free and Backstreet Crawler stuff on it, but 3 of the 4 sides of the record have unreleased tracks. So I didn't get all the way through the unreleased tracks, but it's pretty cool. It's kind of hard to find. Next up is another John Mayall. This is one that was on the back of that, and this is Blues Breaker. Blues Breakers Crusade. Really cool. He does some Albert King stuff on here, some Buddy Guy stuff, his own. He wrote a track called Snowy Wood with Mick Taylor on here. Really cool blues. This is on Decca from 1967. And it's got the old London Blue label. This was like, again, I cleaned this one, but it's like dead mint. Actually, could use another cleaning. Maybe I didn't clean this one yet. Must not have. It's a little dusty. But again, this is another upgrade for me. The one I had was beat. Again, it's not a cheap album when you find it in that condition, but pretty killer. Here's I think this is the second pressing. Yeah. 1965. Junior Walker and the All-Stars. Shotgun was their big hit. Check it out on YouTube. If you don't know what Shotgun is, you'll know it when you hear it. Really killer R&B, bluesy R&B. They do cover Roadrunner on here from Bo Diddley. But this is cool. This was Dead Mint too. I was happy to get that one. Found this one again at Shady Dog. This came in a couple weeks ago. This was This is on Areola label. Yeah, Areola. And that's In Concert Taste featuring Rory Gallagher. This was recorded in 1968. This is on, Areola from Germany. I've never seen this one out in a while before, but so I decided to go for it and grab it. Really awesome, and it sounds great, and killer blues stuff on there too. This one is again another second pressing, but from this, from the early, probably late '60s. And that's the Blues Magoos Electric Comic Book. And I thought this was going to be more bluesy than it was. It's actually more psychedelic than blues, but it's cool. It's on that old Red Mercury label. Again, I thought it was a blues record. So going in, when I popped it on, I wasn't in the mood for it, but it's a cool psychedelic album type thing. Pretty cool. I'll probably check it out again at some point. The Great Elmore James up front, out of New Jersey, I think it is, that label. Really killer best of. This is my first, there's the label, first Elmore James record. And I was floored when I heard this. So I'll definitely be searching out some of the other stuff. But the version of Dust My Broom on here and Shake Your Money Maker. Fucking awesome. Really killer. This is an original Atlantic Best of Wilson Pickett. I love Wilson Pickett, man. Midnight Out, check out that label. Fucking old school Atlantic label. In the Midnight Hour, 6345789 is on here. Mustang Sally. Fucking great collection. And this thing's Dead Mint. Fucking awesome, man. This is definitely worth checking out if you like those tracks. Get the Wilson Pickett stuff. Here's a weird Bill Haley in the comics. This came out in 1977 in Mexico. and it's a collection of hits. All the tracks are in Spanish. The only reason I got this, it was in the, it's a budget bin type thing. But he does a version of, where is it? Traveling Bands. Yeah. Written by John Fogerty. I haven't listened to it yet, but so that had to be recorded in the late 60s. 10, 12 years after he hit it big. I can't wait to hear his work. I hope it's good. This one I got in a budget bin at Shady Dog. No, not Shady Dog. Where was this one from? I don't remember. This might be one I got up at Record Exchange or Record Connection a few months ago. Where it's Lowell Folsom's Trant. The only reason it was in the budget bin is because the cover's like kind of, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of, I don't know if it was water damage or what, but the vinyl's perfect. The vinyl was perfect. Except for one, that's a hair. I gotta clean this again. The LP was perfect. There is a lot of dust on it now. It's kind of weird. But, Lowell Folsom, man, really killer. Look at that art. I mean, the artwork on this is fantastic. Check it out. He's a Trant. But, maybe I didn't clean this yet. It's another one of these. I got so much shit, I don't even remember what the hell I cleaned and what I didn't clean at this point. But definitely check that one out. Found an original Delmark pressing of Junior Wells, the Chicago Blues Band. I think Buddy Guy's all over this record too. Just doesn't have his name listed. This is an original Delmark. Yeah. Again, this is another one of those ones that, by the looks of it, which you can't really see, it actually looks pretty good there, but it just has some minor inner sleeve scuffs. But once I cleaned it, took all that shit out, all the dust out of it, it sounded fantastic. Really classic blues album. I think they reissued this on CD. They probably reissued. I know they reissued it on vinyl a few times, but I think they reissued on CD with like 6 or 7 bonus tracks. Pretty killer. Paul Butterfield Blues Band. They're self-titled. Has Paul Butterfield, Mike Bloomfield, Elvin Bishop. Yeah, the Elvin Bishop that sang "Fooled Around and Fell in Love" in the 70s. I think. Cool, US or I guess UK blues. Pretty killer. Alright, now we're getting into some of the regular rock stuff. That was a lot of blues and R&B. Picked this up with Shady Dog, Plasmatics. New Hope for the Wretched. This is the Stiff Records version. And to boot, it's the UK version, which is yellow and orange. Rare shit now. So hard to find the yellow and orange vinyl pressing of it. Killer record though. I love this record. I love Wendy O. Williams. Man, I remember the first time seeing these guys, it blew my mind. Pretty killer. It's cool to have the colored vinyl. The Lords of the New Church, The Method to Our Madness. This is probably my favorite Lords record. It's more rock based than the goth stuff, but really killer. I never had this on vinyl, so I found this. So again, the Lords. Really cool record. Stu Baders. How can you not like that? This is a compilation, actually a soundtrack to a documentary, about a 50-minute documentary about the early 80s punk movement in the UK. This is the soundtrack for that video, or for that documentary, called UKDK. Kind of hard to find. It's got the Exploited, the Addicts, Chaos UK, the Business, the Vibrators, the Damned, the Verukers, Angelic Upstarts, Vice Squad. There's all the tracks. I've never seen this before. Like I said, I think, maybe I didn't say it, but the documentary's up on YouTube. You can watch it up there. I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching it this weekend. Next up is, I think, the second album from Dirty Tricks. This was on Polydor. This is called Nightman. Kind of has that vibe of like early 80s UK, I don't want to say new wave of British heavy metal, but it has like that early hard rock sound. Pretty killer. I like this record a lot. I was surprised when I heard this. I have the first album on CD. They reissued it a few years ago. I never heard this one. I never even knew about this one because I don't remember caring for the first LP that much. Another early 80s or late 70s. I guess it's late 70s. Yeah, 79 on Virgin. First Shooting Star record. Pretty cool, like, you know, late 70s rock. Pretty cool. Not too bad. I picked up a Gold Stamp promo. This album was weird, man, I gotta be honest. I guess there was a reason why I never picked it up to begin with. But now, being older and being a fan of his, I like this album a lot when I heard it, and I definitely will be listening to it again soon. And that's Zipper Catches Skin from Alice Cooper. That's a Gold Stamp promo. Dead Mint. Early 80s, I think. 82, I believe. Yeah, 1982. Just a different album. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool. It's not, you know, like the classic 70s stuff, but it's not a bad record at all. This one was kind of a grail for me. I heard about this record years ago, and I knew about it, but I kind of forgot about it, to be honest with you. Albert Records had put out this compilation in Australia in 1979. I guess around the time that AC/DC put out Highway to Hell. And that's the Albert Archives. The only thing that makes this special to me, I mean, you got the Marcus Hook Roll Band on here, which Angus and Malcolm played as part of the band on that record. It's got the Easy Beats on here. Billy Thorpe, John Paul Young, Stevie Wright's on here. But the big track, there's an AC/DC single on here called Rockin' in the Parlor with the original singer Dave Evans. It's the only way, this is the only official release of this song. And there's a picture of the original AC/DC with Dave Evans in the band. And it's the only official release of this song is on this album, other than the original 7-inch from 74, I believe it was, which goes for, I think, $1,000, or near $1,000 now. The B-side, this was the B-side of that single. The A-side was Can I Sit Next to You Girl, which was later re-recorded with Bon Scott singing, but I was so happy to find this. And this thing's like Dead Mint, and the song sounds fantastic on here. You know, I just wish at this point, I still love AC/DC, but I wish they'd raid the vaults more. I picked up a first pressing New York Dolls. It's called the Pinkback. Has the pink. I thought they all did, but somebody was telling me that the Pinkback is definitely the first pressing of this album. It's in that hard cardstock sleeve. record sleeve, and it's got the original logo label with the bullet. I have a couple versions of this record and the reissues. I love this record. When I saw even that pink back, I thought they were all like that. Maybe not. I mean, let me know if they're not. I'll have to look at my other pressings because I just all assumed that they were all pink. But the guy, when it came in the shop, you know, one of the owners was like, "Oh, that's the pink back one." Okay, I don't know what that means. I mean, obviously it's a pink back, but I thought they all were. This one this is another grail of mine. This also came in Shady Dog this week. I've been looking for this record, this version of this record for a long time now. It's the original pressing of Golden Earrings Moontan. I believe they're first down with Radar Love. I guess this is they banned the artwork because it came out, you know, not long after this with I think it's the ear logo or ear cover or something like that. But this is the original album cover. And this thing's dead. Every time I've seen this in the past, it's been shredded to shit or wore the fuck out. This thing is like dead mint. The LP's dead mint. It's got the Track Records logo, label. I was so happy to get this, man. I love this record. Again, it's kind of like the New York Dolls. Every time I see it, I try and upgrade the one I have. But this one, I don't have to upgrade it anymore. This one's dead mint. And the original cover. If you ever see this out in the wild, just grab it. No matter how beat it is, because it's worth a few shekels. Another upgrade is the first Starfighters record. Features Stevie Young, Angus and Malcolm Young's nephew, on guitar. Right here, if you couldn't tell, he looks just like Angus there. Killer Australian rock album. I love this album too. This thing looks unplayed, so I have it on CD as well. Band I never heard of before. I don't know, Greeno. Let me know if you heard of this once you see this video. Early 80s, in 1982, the band's called The Kind. I thought it was going to be like power pop, but it's more hard rock than anything. Really cool. Really cool record. Very hard rock sounding, like early 80s hard rock. They look like they would be a power pop band, but I was surprised. I guess it's a private press. It's on 360 Records out of Chicago. Pretty cool though. I was happy to grab this. This album, another one I've never really seen too much of it in the wild. Or never paid attention to it, was Savoy Brown's Savage Return. And this was put out by London in 76. And it's totally not what you would think Savoy Brown sounds like. I mean, it's more of a hard rock album. At least the tracks that I heard. I haven't listened to the whole record yet, but I listened to the first side and I was floored. I'm like, wow. So I'm definitely going to check out some other Savoy Brown, or Savoy Brown. Definitely check this one out if you've never seen it before. Grab that. It's pretty cool. I liked it. Now a couple new things. I told Greeno last week, he told me that he picked up all these titles on Rave Up Records, which I think he's shown in this brand new video. And I told him, I said, man, I got to find, there's one on there that I have quite a few Rave Up Records titles, but there was one that I couldn't get for cheap, and I finally got one for cheap. And it's out of print now, but it's the Shit Dogs, and it's called World War III. This was $10, and it's brand new. If you like the Ramones, you'll like the Shit Dogs. kind of very Ramones, late 70s punk. Fucking awesome though. This takes, I think, a bunch of their singles recorded between 80 and 83 and put on one LP. Kind of like what High Roller's doing for metal is what Rave Up does for punk. Really killer, killer sound, cool artwork. I don't think they do color vinyl though. Yeah, this is just black, but there's a track listing in the band. Killer. I was happy to get this for $10. And like Reno said, I'm gonna try to get as many of the Rave Up records because you're just not. A lot of their titles are sold out already. I grabbed one by a New York band called the Brats a couple of years ago. And that one goes for stupid money now, but definitely check out the Shit Dogs. Picked up this brand new single. It's the 50th anniversary, and it's a limited edition numbered single called from the Rolling Stones for Satisfaction. This is fucking amazing. The sound on it. It was pressed and mastered just for this release. It was mastered just for this release, and it contains both the UK and the US B-sides, which is under Assistant West Coast Promotion Man and Spider and the Fly. I like the two bonus tracks better than Satisfaction. The first bonus track on here, the first unreleased track under Assistant West Coast Promotion Man, fucking brilliant. I love that tune. Kind of bluesy, hard, Stones. This is number 1445. I don't know how many they made. They probably made 15,000 of them or something. Who knows, but I have a feeling they made quite a bit, but we haven't been able to get these back at Shady Dog yet. So, but this, if you find this and you like the Stones and you don't know about this thing, pick this up. Satisfaction, just the sound alone is unbelievable on this record. And, it's going to be a little pricey for a single. I think it's like anywhere from 11 to 15 bucks. I wouldn't pay any more than that unless it's out of print now, which it could be. I have no idea, but you won't be disappointed when you hear it. It sounds unbelievable. Definitely check that out. And the last thing I got for this update anyway, the brand new release from a band I've been following now for the last 4 or 5 years. I have everything they've ever recorded on 7-inch and 10-inch and LP and CD, and they finally released their debut album on Earache Records last week, and that's the Biters. Electric Blood. If you like 70s Cheap Trick, pop punky, glam stuff, this is right up your alley. I love this band. There was a time there. This is 180 gram vinyl. This is the black vinyl version. I don't fall for that Earache, like 100 pressings of blood red vinyl and 300 of gold, and then you're paying like $25, $30. This costs like, I think the list on the regular black one at any shop, you'll pay no more than 20 bucks for this. Or like maybe 16 bucks for it. And that's the way every fucking don't even get me started on new record press. Like, this was the same price as this. This is a single by the Stones. This is a full-length album by basically an unknown artist. But definitely check these guys out. I love this record. I have it on CD. It hasn't left my car since I got it. Like I said, if you like, they're from Atlanta, but they have that whole New York 70s, New York Dolls, Cheap Trick, with a little AC/DC, a little 70, it's just, what I mean. Check it. They're all over YouTube. Anyway, that's it for this update. It's a long one, I know. I try to keep it short on each record, but I like to talk, so I guess that's about it for this update. I'll be doing a new CD update pretty soon. I'd like to get back into doing the movie updates of the DVD and Blu-ray. I've seen some really different, weird documentaries and comedies and horror. A lot of horror, obviously. I love horror films. A lot of shitty horror films, too. That probably aren't worth talking about, but unless I decide to bag on them. But anyway, that's about it. I'll talk to y'all real soon. Oh, I just hit 500 subscribers. I know that's not a big deal on YouTube when I see some other, other vloggers, I guess, with like 1 million subscribers. But hey, 500 subscribers talking to that watch, that listen to me, this schlub, talk about records. It's pretty cool. So I appreciate it all. I appreciate everybody subscribing. I never thought I'd hit 100 subscribers, and here I am 3 years later, and I hit 500 subscribers. Just people want to hear, 500 subscribers that like the same shit I do, I guess. I don't know. But I try to watch, I've been watching a lot of videos lately. I kind of got out of it for a while, but I saw Greeno put a new update on. There's some killer shit on his video. LJ put a new video up. Scott put a new video up. He puts one up every day, it seems like, and I love his videos because it's all metal stuff. Shit I never heard of, but same with Greeno. But like I said, I've been into the 60s and 70s stuff lately, hard blues stuff lately. Just because I think the metal LP vinyl is like kind of dried up around here, so it's not, when you see it, it's super expensive. I'm all about quality over quantity, but when you see stuff cheap, man. And there's another video I'm going to be doing too. I'll have to go back, but there was a couple videos going around, talking about collections, like when is enough enough. So I'm going to do that video pretty soon. Maybe I'll do it after this one, but anyway, again, I'm rambling. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you all really soon. Peace.